Alright, welcome ladies and gents. Superman. It's had some test screenings. I've done one video on it. The results of that were largely negative, unfortunately. There's some positivity in there. But then there's some more information from apparently the same test screening. And this is the issue with test screenings, by the way, is that it's purely subjective. Right? Media is subjective. So people always go, but there's some negative and some positive. It's like, yeah, okay. That's fine. That's what most people experience when they go to a movie, especially if they're randomly selected to go and watch it. Not saying that these ones are, by the way, but test screenings are usually mixed, right? Largely they sway in one direction or the other, but they are mixed and you will get good and bad results from them both. It's normally, and what normally happens is it's important that when you find out the information from whoever it is that's watched a test screening, is to identify what types of films they generally like, so you get a gauge on their opinion of films, because media is subjective. So anyway, there's some positivity apparently about Superman here, which we'll take a look at. But then there's also the fact that the Superman trailer has smashed a certain level of viewership, which we're going to take a look at because it's technically not true, and that is important to clarify. Not to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, that's not what I'm trying to do, but it is important for context. So hit subscribe, ladies and gents, if you're a returning viewer and you're not yet subscribed, because I see you. Yes, I do. I see you. And it'd be great to have you here more often, basically. So thank you in advance. But let's take a look at least the view stuff first. So here's this headline that I saw, and I was like, wow, that's not true. Like at all. Context, it is true that it has got 50 million views. But it is not true in the context that they're going through here. And this is important to add, right? This is like a community note on Twitter, or X as it's called, right? This is me community noting the Superman trailer. So anyway, here we have it, as this states. Despite recent rumblings about negative reactions from test screenings, although we're going to clarify that in a minute anyway, the first Superman trailer received positive reviews from fans and helped to increase interest in both the reboot and James Gunn's wider DCU plans. In recent years, there's been a lot of chatter online about whether the Man of Steel is still relevant. Or the Man of Tomorrow, sorry. Although Man of Steel works as well. Well, proving that there's still plenty of interest in the character is the fact that Superman's teaser trailer has so far racked up 50.3 million views on YouTube, which is obviously a lot. Now it says this, not only does the main version shared by DC continue to trend on the platform after being released on December 19th, but it's also 700,000 or so views away from topping the most viewed trailer for the last Superman movie, which was Man of Steel. The difference is that it took Zack Snyder's reboot over a decade to reach 51 million views. So let's have a look. Let's see what this is then. So here it is. And look, they are right. Okay, let me just sort of shunt this over here. 50 million views, right? 50 million views in 2 weeks. That is absolutely fantastic. It's a lot. It's got a great like to dislike ratio, 1.1 million, 75,000 dislikes. That's amazing. That's arguably really, really good. Like the dislike ratio, brilliant. Goes to show people like it, right? Largely people like it. However, this is not true. It actually has not gained, or what it's about to do anyway, 51 million views on an organic level. And this is just a fact. On this video right now, when you clicked on it, there may have been an advert, right? Hopefully there was an advert, although we do get demonetized, which is another reason why you should support me on Patreon. What a great segue. It's the link down below. Cheers. But there would have been an advert, hopefully. And that advert may very well have actually been the Superman trailer. Yay! But that counts as a view. Because what will happen behind things on YouTube is DC would have linked it to this. They are using this as their own advert, right? They're using this trailer as their own advert. Now that matters. That actually really, really matters because it's not 50 million views organically. It is not actually 50 million views. This isn't to be, rude or nasty or denigrate it or be down on the movie or anything like that. This is just context. It's important context. It's a community note. This is not 50 million views. It's just not. Because every single time that trailer comes up and it is put in front of people as an advert, that's a view. It counts as a view. So, no, it has not gained 50.3 million views because of people going to go watch it. It's gained it because DC and Warner Brothers would have paid to run that as an advert. And that's important. It does matter because when people go off and say these things, and this happens for a lot of stuff, by the way. Now, don't get me wrong, it happens for a lot of movies. But if you're going to boast about the numbers, important community note needs to be added, right? So that's important. And that is literally just what happens. So, you know, whatever. And, you know, James Gunn's spoken about this stuff a few times. But whatever, let's take a look at this new positive test screening stuff. Because this is a twofold video. Positive test screening results. What is it then? Let's have a look. Because this is interesting, I think. So on this week's episode of The Hot Mic, hosts Jeff Snyder and John Rosher shared some of the things they had heard about a test screening. As far as we know, there's only been one. James Gunn's Superman, and the buzz was definitely leaning negative. It's not a surprise. It has to lean one way or the other. Okay? And it's not a surprise that it's mixed. Loads of people will be like, oh, it's mixed. I don't trust anyone. It's like, no, that is normal. You and a group of your friends would go watch a film. You don't all share the same opinion of it. Don't be a dumbass now all of a sudden and try and say that this means that it's completely bogus. It's not true. So Rosher was told that the DCU reboot had a similar tone to Captain America the First Avenger, which is that's fine, that's good. Or The Mummy, which is not good. It shouldn't be like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy or Tom Cruise's The Mummy. And that the movie was said to be decent overall. Snyder's source was not as optimistic, suggesting that there is a reason to be worried about the finished film. But anyway, this website has now heard from a well-placed source who has spoken to people who have seen the movie, and their feedback was a lot more positive. That's good. Now, unsurprisingly, Superman was described as Guardians of the Galaxy level good, which is a fantastic film. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy, actually. I think it's a good film. I think that's when James Gunn was still under control, though, right? He hadn't drunk his own Kool-Aid a little bit. He was being navigated as well as being allowed to do his thing, but he was still under control. And that matters, by the way. That does actually matter. You can't just go full balls to the wall with your, eccentricities. But anyway, so it says this. While some of the VFX was unfinished, a lot of the shots were polished enough with some, 7 months to go. And those in attendance that shared their opinions reportedly loved the movie. So that's very good. It says this is worth keeping in mind that both of these things can be true, which is true. It's highly unlikely that everyone who saw Superman at this screening felt exactly the same way about it, but it's also important to note that plenty of much-loved films received negative responses from early screenings and vice versa, which is very, very true. So there you go. 2 bits of information about this. What do you guys think of them both? 50 million views? It's not 50 million views. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not organic views. It's not people going back to watch it. That's just not true. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Test screenings? Good? Bad? What do you reckon? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye now.